Alright, so in this video, I want to at least try and save some of you who are studying the night before an important exam. And I've put the very first tip at the beginning because I don't want to waste any of your time. And that's to look at a bunch of practice problems and their answers. Obviously, if you had enough time, you'd go through the entire question and give it your own best solution and then compare it with the solution in the textbook. But in the case that there really is just one night before the exam, you're going to want to see as many methods to answering questions as possible. Go through a bunch of worked examples, look at practice problems from past exam papers, and see exactly what the mark scheme is looking for. This is basically a more useful version of reading a textbook because instead of expecting a bunch of random, useless facts to be absorbed into your brain, you can just quickly learn the methods that you're going to be using in the exam. Also, make sure while you're doing this not to use too many questions from different exam papers because hopefully this is a one-time thing studying for a topic test, and for the actual exam you're going to want to use those practice papers because they're really valuable for the actual thing. And if you see a particular type of question popping up really frequently, you can just attempt one of those questions here and there to just make sure you're able to do them and pick out any mistakes before you go into the exam. Because at the end of the day, reading the solutions to a problem is very different from creating your own solutions from scratch without having any reference to any notes or any mark schemes. And so here's tip number 2. So hopefully I don't need to tell you by now that you should only be prioritizing the weak topics. There's obviously no time for color coding every topic that they're going to ask you in the exam, but you should definitely look through the content of whatever textbook you're using and just flick to the topics that you don't even know what the title of means. And then I also recommend taking a cheat sheet and only writing the things that you don't know. Right now is not the time to be wasting time on making notes on things that you already know. If you see a key point in the textbook that's followed by a bunch of practice questions that are probably going to come up in past papers, then note those things down in the cheat sheet. Really try and keep the cheat sheet as concise as possible. I'd recommend keeping them to a maximum of one single A4. Honestly, you don't need more than that. Remember, this is only for things you don't know. You can quickly read this on your way to school in the morning and just hope to God. And the third and final tip is to look at some practice questions and problems that are actually going to be in the exact same style as the test that you're going to be sitting. This is mainly for those who are going into an exam blind and think they know absolutely nothing. I'll give you my own scenario. So I was about to do a coding interview for a banking firm and I was terrified because I literally thought I knew nothing. I had done some problems before, but I still felt super underprepared and I was completely unsure about the structure of the questions, what the interface would look like. Luckily, they had a practice example section, which showed me the exact type of questions I would be getting, and I ended up solving that one pretty quickly. So then that just instantly calmed my nerves right down, and then I went into the test way less stressed than 2 minutes ago. Even if you think you know nothing, seeing a couple questions in an exam and having the peace of mind that you can actually solve a couple of them is a huge confidence boost. But yeah, those are my 3 tips. Huge thanks if you stayed till the end of this video. If you found this video useful, hit the subscribe button, drop a like, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.